Hello, everybody. This is Chef Joshna here, and welcome to another installment of Ask Joshna, where I help answer all of your questions about cooking and eating so that you can have more fun in the kitchen. Today we have a few questions from all of you, from our student community, so let's get to it. First question: what is the safest way to store food and organize your fridge? This is a great question, and there is some thought behind this, and this is strictly from a food safety perspective, right? So, important things in your fridge at home. Let's start from the bottom, right? Crisper, that is the spot for your vegetables, your lettuces, things like that. It keeps them away from the fan, which is sometimes closer to the top, because the fan in a fridge is the enemy of leafy green things. Everyone will just start to wilt, and it'll get a bit sad and pitiful. So keep your vegetables in the drawers below. Then on the bottom shelf of your fridge is where you want to store things like raw meats, eggs, things that are potential contaminants, right? And we put these things on the bottom of the fridge because on the off chance that the package leaks or something breaks, we don't have to worry about that raw meat or the raw juiciness of that meat trickling down and contaminating everything else in the fridge, right? So raw stuff on the bottom. A lot of people, public health in Toronto, want us to put the eggs there too, because the eggs could crack and they are potential carriers of bacteria and disease, so this is why eggs also on the bottom. Then on shelves up, we can think about prepared foods, and then on the top, usually it's like the tall stuff, right? That's where my tallest shelf is, so milk, juice, jars of pickles. I got plenty jars of pickles in my fridge, and all the condiments and that sort of thing can go closer to this top. What you want to think about too is that there are colder and less cold spots in your fridge. At the back and at the bottom, which is the furthest away from the door, right, that keeps opening, are the coldest parts of your fridge, which is why raw meats and things like that need to go there. And like I said, the fan in your fridge that keeps the things moving is great, but it's not awesome for fresh produce, right? It will wilt produce, and so that is an important thing for you to think about. I will post something on the blog on the website with a little visual for all of you to use for your reference, and I have an interesting piece for pantry stuff too. Okay, next question. Is planting cilantro the only way to make it last? Yes, and even then I have to say it's not easy. Cilantro is a tricky thing to grow. All my farmer pals tell me this. It's not easy to grow the stuff. It's not as hardy, let's say, right? It takes a bit more delicate. But yeah, for sure, plant it yourself is the best way to make it last. Absolutely. Next up, tips for going plant-based. This is a mega question, but here I'll get you started, right? I really want to encourage plant-based eating is super important. I'm on board. I really think that our world needs us to all eat more plant-based food. Now, all that to say, I am much more of a proponent of sort of naturally plant-based things, right? I'm not on the impossible meat, beyond meat train. I mean, it's fine, and it tastes all right. But there's too much manipulation and processing involved in that for me to get that excited about it, right? There's a strong climate change angle on this, and I don't know that necessarily works. But that's another conversation. I want you to really get excited about the fact that you can get full and satisfied and have joy from taking down a whole plate of vegetables. It is so possible. I just watched Yotam Ottolenghi's masterclass, and this man he just makes vegetables come to life. So that is an important thing. Really embrace vegetables. Don't get too crazy about having to put your protein together, because one, you don't actually need as much protein as you think. People kind of turn that into a monster when they are confronted by people choosing vegetarianism. Not that big a deal. You'll get it, and there's lots of ways that are not about eating animals where you can get your protein. And the other important thing is that there's kind of a push and pull, right? If you want to eat more plant-based food, I think you're going to have to really make a commitment to cook, right? You're going to have to start cooking for yourself, because the world does not always provide it. And oftentimes a lot of the stuff that we see out in the world is really highly processed, and I don't think that's the point here, right? Eat vegetables, cook them yourself. When you get them in season from a local source, they are so delicious and super affordable. And I will make sure to include more vegetable and vegetable focused eating in the recipes in coming days and weeks. Okay, final question is, how do you resist the urge to eat out? I get this. And there's two important things I want to say. First is, remember, you can, if you take a deep breath and you have the wherewithal to take a look in your fridge or your kitchen and see what's there, in about the same time as a pizza or some skip the dishes Uber Eats thing can get to your door, say 40 minutes, you can put a meal on the table. I guarantee it. I do it myself often. I will set a timer on the clock. I will take a look just so that I can practice what I preach about this, right? You can get a quick pasta dish, easy vegetable saute, even if it's just breakfast for dinner, you can do this. And the thing is, more often than not, that other meal, the meal that you make for yourself, is going to be more satisfying than anything that comes takeout through the door, right? It's just, generally speaking, that's the way that goes. Now, all that's to say is I would also like to encourage the idea that eating out is not the terrible thing that you think it is, particularly at this moment in time. Yes, for sure, it can be more expensive, but it's not always more expensive, considering how much time it would have taken you to potentially go out and get all those ingredients yourself and put a stir fry or, a Chinese meal or even a whole pizza together, right? Sometimes it's just easier to do this. And our friends and restaurants really need our support. So I will really encourage the occasional eating out, because supporting local restaurants, if you have the means and you can pull it off, it's a really, really important thing. So go easy on yourselves. Choosing to eat out is not the terrible thing that you might think it is. Watch the pennies, make smart choices, and we'll all, emerge from the madness of this moment together, hopefully. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much for your questions. Keep them coming. We will look for them on Fridays on our Instagram feed, so join in there. Again, this is Chef Joshna with the Communal Lunch Project. Super excited about it. Thanks for your questions, and we'll talk soon, everyone. Bye.